Thanks for watching Lesson 3-3, Dividing Polynomials. This lesson's pretty short, so we're going to do a couple of examples afterwards. So if this is your second or later time watching it, make sure you have your note sheet in front of you. Also a highlighter. There's a couple of things that you'll need to highlight on here. So dividing polynomials, you can use two different processes. One of them is long division. The other one is synthetic division. We're going to look at both of those. First example, on using long division, says if you're dividing 2x cubed plus 4x squared plus 5 by x minus 3, using long division, it just looks like a regular long division problem that you did in grade school. So you're starting out by dividing every piece, or dividing x into every piece. So x times what is 2x cubed? Well, x times 2x squared is 2x cubed. So then you're going through and multiplying just like you would in regular division. 2x squared times both pieces on the outside. 2x squared times x is 2x cubed. 2x squared times negative 3 is negative 6x squared. And then you're subtracting. Subtracting both pieces. 2x cubed minus 2x cubed is 0. That zeroes out. And 4x squared minus a negative 6x squared is the same thing as 4x squared plus 6x squared, which is 10x squared. Bring down your 0x, and then do the same thing. Now you're dividing x into 10x squared. X times what is 10x squared? Well, x times 10x is 10x squared. So then you're going to multiply back through. 10x squared times both of the pieces of your divisor. 10x squared times x, or 10x times x is 10x squared. 10x times negative 3 is negative 30x. And then you're subtracting both pieces. 10x squared minus 10x squared is nothing. Those zero out. And then 0x minus a negative 30x is plus 30x, which is 30x. Bring down the 5. And one more time. How many times does x go into 30x? X times what is 30x? That's 30. And then you're multiplying back through. Both pieces of your divisor. 30 times x is 30x, and 30 times negative 3 is negative 90. When you subtract, 30x minus 30x is 0, and 5 minus a negative 90 is 5 plus 90, which is 95. Remember, anytime that you need to pause it or rewind it and look back over it, you're welcome to. So, writing the quotient. This says to write the quotient. The last term of the quotient is the remainder in fraction form. So, our quotient is 2x squared plus 10x plus 30 plus our remainder. We have 95 over our divisor, x minus 3. Feel free to pause it if you need to get this down, or rewind it and watch it again. We are going to do a practice problem over that method in just a minute. We're going to skip the reflection, so don't worry about doing the reflection piece down here. Go ahead and flip your paper over, and we're going to look at the other method. This talks about understanding the remainder theorem. When you divide 2x cubed plus 4x squared plus 5 by x minus 3, you get a remainder of 95. If you evaluate this polynomial for x equals 3, and they got 3 right here, if the divisor is x minus 3, that's the same thing as saying x minus a, so this value is what they're substituting in for x. So if they substitute 3 into all the parts where they see x and evaluate it, you're going to get that remainder. That's the remainder theorem. Please highlight this on your note sheet. If a polynomial p of x is divided by x minus a, then the remainder r is p of a. So let's look at that in action. It says that you can use the remainder theorem to evaluate polynomials. To find p of a, you divide the polynomial by x minus a and find the remainder. So here's another piece that you're going to need to highlight. A shorthand method for dividing a polynomial by x of a, or x minus a, is called synthetic division. Make sure that you highlight that on your paper. Synthetic division. The process is similar to long division, but you work only with the coefficients. Here are the steps for using synthetic division to find the quotient, 2x cubed plus 4x squared plus 5 divided by x minus 3. So step 1, write the coefficients of p of x in the top row. Notice that the coefficients are 2, 4, and 5, but there's a 0 here. Note that if you wrote this out with all terms, 2x cubed plus 4x squared, and there's no x term, so you would say plus 0x plus 5. So the coefficients are 2, 4, 0, and 5. And write the value of a to the left. Well, the value of a here is your positive 3. Notice that this is in the form x minus a, so change the sign, and you end up with 3 there. Then it says to bring down the first coefficient, so they brought down the 2. Then you're going to multiply that 2 times your 3, which is 6, then add. 4 plus 6 is 10. Again, 10 times 3 is 30. 0 plus 30 is 30. Again, multiply 30 times 3, which is 90. And 5 plus 90 is 95. Notice that you get the same solution, and you have the same result. The coefficients of the quotient, 2x squared plus 10x plus 30, are shown in the bottom row, and the last value is 95, which is the remainder. By the remainder theorem, this is also the value of p of 3. So this would also equal p of 3. Feel free to pause if you need to. By the remainder theorem, this is also the value of p of 3. Because synthetic division may be used to evaluate polynomials, the process is also known as synthetic substitution. Please highlight that as well on your worksheet. So we're not going to do reflection 2a, but we are going to do 2 practice problems, which hopefully should make this the shortest video yet. Okay, so we're going to do 2 practice problems. First, we are going to, let me leave this up here just so I have a white backdrop. Maybe here. There we go. And I can erase where I highlighted on the board. We are going to divide first using long division. Add these to your worksheet, please. Divide using long division. And we're going to divide the problem negative 3x squared plus 20x minus 12. We're going to divide that by x minus 6. Okay? So using our long division method, put x minus 6 as the divisor, and just make it look like a regular long division problem. Negative 3x squared plus 20x minus 12 underneath the division sign. Start off by asking yourself, x times what is negative 3x squared? Well, x times negative 3x is negative 3x squared. Multiply that times both pieces of the divisor. Negative 3x times x is negative 3x squared. And negative 3x times negative 6 is positive 18x. Then we are subtracting. Negative 3x squared minus a negative 3x squared cancel out. 20x minus 18x is 2x. Bring down the negative 12. And then ask yourself, how many times does x go into 2x? X times what is 2x? Of course, x times 2 is 2x. So we're multiplying. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. When you subtract, 2x minus 2x is 0. Negative 12 minus a negative 12 zeroes out also. So on this one, you have no remainder. So your answer is simply negative 3x plus 2. Make sure that you get that on the bottom of your worksheet. We'll do one more example, and these are the two things that I'll be looking for when I'm checking your homework to make sure that you watch the video in its entirety. Pause it if you need to. Okay, one more example. Here we're going to divide using synthetic division. Divide using synthetic division. If this is a new process for you, you want to watch this a few times. So here we're going to divide 5x squared minus 4x plus 12. And again, this is not already on your worksheet. Please make sure that you add it at the bottom. And we're dividing this by x plus 3. Okay. Now remember that our divisor is in the form x minus a. So we're changing the sign on this to find the number that we're going to divide into it. So we set up our synthetic division. We're going to put the a value right here. Well, the a value here is going to be negative 3. And then we're writing our coefficients next to it. Notice that we have an x squared term, an x term, and then a constant. So we don't have any missing terms here. So we're just going to use 5, negative 4, and 12. Okay. Give myself a little bit more white space here. Okay. All right, so I'm bringing the 5 down. And I'm going to multiply 5 times my negative 3. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. Then I'm adding. Okay. Negative 4 plus negative 15 is negative 19. And then I'm multiplying that times the negative 3. Negative 19 times negative 3 is a positive number. 19 times 3, you can do this on your calculator if you need to, or you can do the math to the side. 19 times 3. 9 times 3 is 27. Carry your 2. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. So negative 19 times negative 3 is a positive 57. Adding here. 12 plus 57 gives you 69 as your remainder. So, if we're now to write this answer, remember you started with an x squared here, so the variable in this is just going to be x. So your answer then is 5x minus 19. And then your remainder in fraction form, plus 69 over, which your original divisor was, x plus 3. And there's your answer. Feel free to pause, rewatch, whatever you need to do, but make sure that you get this down on your paper. We are less than 15 minutes, and we'll do a lot of practice in the classroom.